our second one, as you can see, is LeighAnn. So, LeighAnn, when you are ready, you may begin.
For many years, former Pleasant Plains quarterback Alex Simchek was on a mission to make me a Tim Tebow fan. He knew that I allowed one thing to define the character of Tim Tebow, his relationship with the University of Oklahoma. Starting in 2008 at the Heisman Award ceremony, Tim Tebow was the focus of the press's attention. He won the trophy in 2007 and was again nominated in 2008. Lucky for me, Sam Bradford of the University of Oklahoma won that year. Tim Tebow did himself another injustice when at the BCS championship game, he did a gator chomp when he had sealed the victory. He got a personal foul for this, but he still defended it after it happened. When this project was presented, I decided that it was my chance to redefine who Tim Tebow was. So I picked up his book through my eyes and decided to see where it would get me. I almost stopped reading the book when I read the Downtown Athletic Club 2008 Heisman Trophy goes to Sam Bradford, but lucky for you, I continued to read. And I stand here today ready to tell you how Tim Tebow has made a positive impact on our society. I'll do this first by explaining how his attitude has changed society, second by how his actions have changed society, and third, his abilities. The first thing is that his attitude has always been focused on Christ. Tim moved from the Philippines to Jacksonville, Florida when he was 3 years old. He grew up with 2 big brothers and 2 big sisters on a family farm. This allowed plenty of opportunities for competition and bragging between the boys. Their parents instilled Proverbs 27:2 as a life verse for the boys. This is, let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. This is still displayed by Tim and many other young athletes by Tebowing after a big play. Tim started doing this just as a simple moment to reflect on what he has done and thank God for all that he's given him. Tim has also had to try to keep a positive attitude when nasty comments are thrown at him. Being in a sport, there's a lot of competition and there's a lot of team spirit, and so a lot of teams will be negative towards the other players, and he's had to face a lot of this. He's also a very dedicated athlete and admits in his book that he often cries after a big loss. Although he's in an emotional state, he often composes himself and shares 1 Thessalonians 5:18 with the press. This is in everything give thanks, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. He knows that although it's not fun at the time, he will become a better player through the loss. Tim has also been able to show his change society through his actions. As a missionary's kid, he's been able to have plenty of opportunities to serve. He returned to the Philippines for the first time when he was 15 years old. He was scared for this opportunity because he had never shared the gospel with anyone he didn't know. Lucky for him, kids tend to listen and look up to teenagers much more than they do adults. As he would go into the classrooms to share, the kids would run to him and listen to him closely. This was the start of a huge career for Tim. When he got to the University of Florida, he started studying family, youth, and community service, and he minored in communications. He started the Tim Tebow Foundation, and the Christian Post says, in spring of 2015, the Tebow Cure Hospital will open. Tim was able to do this to partner with his father's organization in the Philippines through Christian health organization Cure International. The thing that has made the biggest impact on society is Tim's abilities. He always worked hard when he was young to be able to be the best athlete he could be, and this paid off when he started as the quarterback as a sophomore for the University of Florida. People doubted him because they knew how big his faith was. Starting when he was in high school, there were documentaries on ESPN about his abilities and his faith, but he proved everyone wrong by playing 3 great seasons with the team. At the national championship game, he put John 3:16 on his eye black, and during and after the game, this had 94 million searches on Google. His simple action made a huge impact on many people's lives. After his success with the Gators, he was drafted in the 25th pick of the 2010 NFL Draft by the Denver Broncos. Although he didn't have much success with them and was traded a few times, Tim has still been able to make a large impact on society. He worked for a while with ABC's Good Morning America doing random acts of kindness and is now an SEC network commentator. Tim Tebow has been under a lot of criticism from the press, whether it be for his football skills or for what he has said. Randy Hicks of the Atlantic Journal wrote an encouraging article about Tebow, but besides Jody Jacobson, who wrote a criticism towards Tebow after his putting verses on his eye black, She said, "We do not need a Christian fundamentalist athlete lecturing others about his beliefs." Hicks later points out that Jacobson is wrong. Tebow never pushes his beliefs on anyone. He just uses his simple actions, attitude, and abilities to show them. Overall, Tebow has made a positive impact on society. It took a lot for me to change the way I viewed him due to my dedication to Oklahoma, but I can now see that he strives to do everything he can to just spread the light. Back to Alex, he has been personally impacted by Tebow and has always viewed him as an inspiration. He was able to meet him last fall, and in response to this, he says, "Tim is a great guy, and he always tries to keep God first. He's one of the most humble people I've ever met. He's an incredibly hard worker who prioritizes his life and honors God in everything he does. No matter what he does long term, he's going to be a success because he doesn't base his success on worldly things, but in Jesus."